Welcome to the Business Spotlight Series. My name's Mark McNulty, and I'm president of Action Coach Bluegrass. And today I have Brittany Penny, who is founder and CEO of 2 Cents Inc., as my guest. Today we're going to be talking about her business and what it's been like to start a business and operate in the environment over the last few years. Now, if this is your first time on this channel, be sure to like and subscribe so you get notifications when we drop future conversations just like this. So, Brittany, welcome and thanks so much for being here today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Great. So, tell us a little bit about how 2 Cents came to be and what your business is all about.
Yes, well, we are a bourbon company, and basically we started it in 2020 when everybody was locked in and everything like that. And I was pregnant with our first child, and my husband kept on drinking, because we have an extensive bourbon collection here. So he was just pouring his normal drink and everything, and I just started to pick up on all of like the aromas. I always loved the smell of bourbon, even when pregnant. It was like one of my favorite things to smell since I couldn't taste it, right? So he was just, pouring his drink and everything was like normal. And then I just kind of blurted out. I was like, we should start our own company, bourbon company. He was like, yeah, that would be cool. Right. But then our baby came. She was 3 months old. We was up all night with her. And I was like, guess what? We're going to start this company. So we just started it from there. We reached out to our network and found a distillery to help us source and things like that. And we just kind of went from there. We started the company in September of 2020, and our product was done in April of 2021. So bottled, signed, sealed, delivered on the market. So that is how we started. There's no background in distilling or bourbon other than we just love it. So we just started up.
Okay. So, tell us a little bit about, how you split the roles between the two of you in the company.
Right. So I am the founder, CEO. I do this full time. This is my only gig. And then my husband is the VP, and he still has his full time job too. So he is a project manager. So when he's not traveling or actually has time, he helps out with the company. So, yeah.
Okay. So, bourbon, obviously, Louisville, Kentucky, bourbon capital of the universe. And so, how do you stand out in a crowded field, whether it's Louisville or regionally or nationally? There's a lot of competition out there. So, how do you stand out in that? Tell us a little bit about that.
Standing out of that is very hard. It's very challenging, but I have found my own lane kind of by accident because there's not a lot of women, number one, in this field that are owning and running their own company. You may have managers and people working like that, but the women that are actually in the executive level, there's few and far between. So that's first and foremost there. And then with me, there's not a lot of women that are minority women, Black owned women. So actually I am the first in Kentucky. So first founder and CEO of a bourbon brand as a Black woman. So there's that. And then about the juice. Well, our bottle, if you could see it, that stands out too, right? Because it has let me get close there so you can see. Okay. So it has like this colorful shield here. I told you that we started in COVID and everybody was on Zoom like
Right.
this. So what did we always see? Bookshelves, right? So we want our bottle to look like a book. So when you turn it to the side, it has a cute little spine. And when you turn it to the back, it has like that book a jacket feel to it. So
Right.
that is something else that helps us. Like people come in and they see like, oh my God, it's a colorful bottle. It looks like a book. That's it there. Then we also stand out because our juice is phenomenal. And it was something that I was like really striving hard for, honestly. The first thing is I could not taste anything because, of course, I was pregnant, breastfeeding, all that stuff. So I was just going based off smell. So I was like, nope, not this. Nope, not this. I was just canceling things out. And I honestly didn't get to try it until it was already done, until it was bottled, everything. So I was like, I hope it tastes. I was so nervous. I was like, I hope it tastes okay because I don't know, but it is phenomenal. It is 95 proof
Okay.
and it is a sweeter bourbon. And it is something that, so you pick up the notes of apricot and cinnamon and vanilla, and then a finish of cinnamon
Okay.
spice. It has a very low burn, and that is something that I'm truly proud of because bourbon typically kind of goes down hard and goes down kind of hot, and people love that, but some don't. So I kind of wanted something that is an intro to bourbon. So that is what we have with the 9.
Okay. All right, great. So what markets are you in? Because
Right.
distribution is its own beast. And
Yes, fun fact about that. Every state is different, right? Surprise, surprise. So right now we're only in Kentucky, but we hope to branch out to Texas and Tennessee and California and things like that. But right now we want to win our own home first before we take it out to other places.
so when you launched, tell me about your marketing. How did you market it and get people to know about it, excited about it, and spreading the word? Because, especially in Kentucky, it's a big word of mouth game, right?
Yes. And we launched during a fun time because it was COVID. So everybody was locked in, right? So basically, what we did was we relied heavily on social media, Facebook, YouTube, videos, different posts, different things like that. We just really just kept on marketing and just telling people about it. So basically, my background is in digital marketing. So that's what I went to school for. And because I love I love social media. It is great. It is awesome. And that's just what I did. I really got up there. I was just making videos. I was talking about our product and people seem to love it. So when we got online, crazy stuff. We sold a bottle a minute for the first 2 hours. A bottle that was retailed at that point at $89.99 that nobody has tried, nobody has even heard of, but they bought it. So that is basically what we did. We were just doing that kind of guerrilla marketing, just going out and just talking about it and making videos and posting them and just talking to people virtually.
Right. Okay. Yeah, you couldn't do the typical during COVID, the typical go out and do tastings and be at the liquor store and give out samples, and because we weren't allowed to do any of that.
Right. Exactly. So it was just based on virtual things, and I try to make it sound like pretty awesome, and apparently that works. So, and I mean, and people loved it. So yeah, it was a good time.
Right. So for other entrepreneurs, what are some of the obstacles or roadblocks you ran into? Some are probably unique to the industry you were in, and some were just roadblocks and barriers for opening a business, right? In the world. So what are some kind of memorable obstacles that you had to really figure out how to overcome?
The most memorable obstacle was to raise capital. I mean, and that goes for any company, anything, because you can't start a business with, no cash flow or, nothing coming in. So that was the biggest thing. We had to do tons of business plans, paperwork, tons of pitching, going to get different banks and, loans and things like that. And then especially in my field, bourbon is expensive, especially during COVID time, especially when it was inflated crazy, right? So yeah, so we had to raise that capital and we had to start with, just a few barrels. We started only with 5. So that ended up giving us 1,300 bottles to sell. So we just kind of started there and kind of going from that. The next obstacle for me personally is just being in Kentucky and bourbon. And there's a million brands, there's a million distilleries, and people have been here for over 150 years and they are established and they have distilleries and tasting rooms and everything else going on. And then when I come in, people are like, so where's your distillery at? And I was like, oh, I don't have one. It's in probably 10 years past, like here. But but right now, no. Like, so we are sourcing barrels and things like that. But that is the biggest thing, to kind of hold your own ground, even when it's so competitive. So but yeah.
Did anybody tell you you can't do that?
A lot of people. A lot of people told me that I couldn't do it, or okay, so they didn't say it that harshly, but they was like, "Hey, maybe you should try to do something else, or maybe you should go this direction, and maybe not bourbon, maybe like wine." And then I'll be like, "So why wine? Because I'm a woman? Is that it?" Like, like, no, I mean, I really don't care for wine. I am a bourbon girl. So I was just like, no, I'm going to stick to what I love, and that is bourbon. We had a few people tell us to, maybe not do this or maybe not do that, or they would tell us, wait until you have the money to build a facility and then you can start. And I was like, well, that would be terrible if I spent all this like $50 million facility and make this juice and it comes out terrible. Like, I mean, I would be devastated. So, but we stuck to it, and that is just what we did. We just kept it moving.
Okay, awesome. So tell me about what's next for 2 Cents.
Yes. So what's next in our future? Like I said, 10 years down, once we get our $50 million, but probably by that point, probably be closer to 75 million, because inflation. But uh distillery, definitely. That is our goal. That is our biggest dream ever, is to have our own place to make our own product. But in our short-term goal, what we have come up with, what is next, is our canned cocktail, which I'll show you that. It is called Audacitea, and it is a tea-based cocktail. It is vodka, and people are very surprised by that. But I always tell people, bourbon is for the glass. It is not for a can. It does not taste right. It doesn't compute right. It's just, So we have a tea-based cocktail here. It is a perfect distilled cocktail in a can. So it's not really a RTD, because those are basically seltzer and malt and carbonation. This does not have that. This is no malt, no seltzer, no bubbles. It is just tea, vodka, and then it is lemon juice and natural flavors. And
Okay,
that's it. But that is our latest product, and it's Audacitea. Yeah.
awesome. So where can people find your products?
You can find our products. The bourbon is local. If you go to Westport Whiskey and Wine, they actually have some there. Our other stores are currently sold out, which is a good problem to have. But Westport actually just got some in. I actually called them yesterday.
Okay.
So they still have some in. So I just wanted to make sure that. Now for the tea, you can go to our website, because we are selling that online. And so you can visit 2centsinc.com and you can purchase from there.
Okay, awesome.
Mhm.
All right. So that's awesome. So really interesting story. Love just the determination that, hey, we're going to do this.
Mhm.
I'm pregnant. I'm going to do it. Oh, got a baby. I'm going to do it. Just push through, and we're going to start our dream.
Mhm.
And that's really, that's really an inspiring story, because you didn't let COVID shut you down or anything. You had a vision, a dream, and said, hey, let's go do this.
Yeah.
So congratulations for that. That's really exciting and really awesome.
Thank you.
Um, and being, a minority female in the industry, aren't a lot of women, period. And, minorities are even less of a representation. So going out and being a groundbreaker, and I'm sure you had a lot of people, like you said, the wine example, just, well, why? Because I'm a woman, because, that's just, no,
Yeah.
bourbon. That's what I love. And that's what we're going to do. And you pushed through that, and you didn't let people and their preconceived ideas for what you couldn't do get in your way. So congratulations for that. That's really exciting.
And a funny thing too, about that. So when me and my husband would go out and talk about the brand, everybody went up to him. They just assumed, oh, this is the founder, CEO. This is, yeah. So, and I would just kind of sit back and I just kind of wait. And I'll just kind of wait, and I'll just be sitting there and just kind of, looking and things like that. And my husband James, he is so great because he is so professional, so polite, and he is just like, that's an excellent question. You may want to talk though to the CEO. She's actually like right there. So yes, so I would love to like introduce you to her and things like that. So yeah. But I mean they just assume because that's a guy, and yeah. So
Yeah,
fun
it's
time.
so again, congrats. So to wrap us up here, I've got just kind of a few quick questions. Kind of first answer is probably the best one. So what's been your key to success?
My key to success is perseverance. I am not a quitter. Like, even when I probably should quit, I don't because it's just like I find it as a game. I kind of find it very challenging, and I just keep going. I keep pushing. I keep thriving. Also, I'm very innovative, and I can pivot quickly. Just like with the bourbon, I love a bourbon, but I understand with the economy and things like that, bourbon sales are actually down right now. So we wanted to put out something else that was more affordable, number one, and also something that was more convenient, like that canned cocktail that you can just grab and go. Because I mean, sometimes people don't have time to sit and find a glass and find like mixers or anything like that. They just want something that they can grab and just kind of go forward. So
Right.
that was those two things there are my
Okay.
biggest key.
Awesome. So what's one piece of advice you would give other business owners?
The piece of advice I would give is just to stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, run your race. Don't worry about everyone else. Don't worry about what they are doing, because the only way to meet your goals is to focus on your goals, not theirs. So that is the biggest thing that I would tell anyone.
I love the way you put that. I've never heard it put that way. I'm going to remember that and probably steal it, but run your own race. I
Yes,
love that.
yes.
I love that. That's a great way of describing everything you just said. So thank you. So what's a book that you're reading or listening to right now that you would recommend to others?
It's a very okay, I'm gonna say it nicely, because this is very PG podcast probably, but it's called F Your Feelings, Master Your Mind.
Okay.
I am a Audible person because I have two kids now. I don't have time to sit down and actually read a book, but I love a good Audible podcast, anything like that. But that book there is actually helping me not take things so personally and just focused on goals, because I sometimes I get caught up in like feelings and things like that, but I'm like, no, I need to focus on the goal, focus on mission. And it's very hard to not take things personal because I just kind of feel like I'm a huge perfectionist too. So I'm very tough, but that has given me some key insights to keep going and not focus so much on the downfalls.
Okay, great. I love books like that, and they're a little off the beaten path, but I'm sure there's a lot of great messages in there. I'm going to go ahead and add that to my Audible list and take a listen, because we all have those challenges sometimes. So If you had to choose one area of your business that you could immediately improve tomorrow, what would that be?
That would be our finances, our financial department. I would, if I could immediately improve that, that would be the key to help us scale quicker, scale faster, things like that. But right now, we are looking for investors and different partners to come on with us. But as of now, it's just us. It's just 2 cents. It's me and my husband. So, but then,
Okay, awesome. So before I ask the very last question, so people can find you, you're on social, you're on Facebook, Instagram, your website's 2centsinc.com.
yes.
And I've been out there. There's even more information about the story. And I've read about the bourbon. I've read about Audacitea on there. So a lot of great information. So I heard, do you have a YouTube channel as well?
We did, but we no longer have that because I was focusing more on our Facebook and Instagram and TikTok now. I'm trying to
All
get
right.
into more TikTok things, but you can follow us on Facebook at 2 Cents Inc. And that's the same for Instagram too, as
Mhm.
well as our TikTok page. And then if you want to follow just me personally, because that's totally different content, it's the 2 Cents CEO. So you can follow that as well. And I'm on IG as well as TikTok.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. So last question for today. So what inspires you the most right now?
What inspires me the most is honestly my two girls. They are my biggest inspiration. They are the reason I get up and get up and like do this. I am building this company for the next generation. I mean, I am a huge advocate for our next leaders, our next generations, our next founders, our next CEOs. So they are my biggest inspiration. They are the reasons my oldest is 4 now, so even when I'm having like this day and I'm like, I don't feel like doing this, I mean, she'll come up to me and she'll be like, no, mama, keep going, mama, you can do this. And it just, I mean, that just makes me to keep on going. So yeah.
Mhm. That's awesome. I love that. Family is so important. And when you're on a venture like this, it's so personal and family is important. So thank you. So listeners, this has been Brittany Penny. She's founder and CEO of 2 Cents Inc., a bourbon brand, and also a cocktail, Audacitea. She founded it during COVID, if you can believe that, with her husband, and the two of them have just put themselves into it. And she is leading the company of the future with big plans. So get some inspiration, find what parts of her story are inspiring to you, and then put that to work and go ahead and run your own race, as Brittany said. So Brittany, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome. Thank you.
And great. So thank you, everybody. Make sure you hit like and subscribe so you get notifications on future interviews. And we will see you on the next interview. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.
Bye.